This is my third transformation. I thought if I can make a great impact and make a difference for a company this iconic, that was actually an exciting thing to do.
For more than a century, Rolls-Royce has been a global leader in aerospace and defense, powering everything from commercial airlines to nuclear submarines. But like many companies, Rolls-Royce was nearly grounded by the COVID-19 pandemic, when plummeting demand for air travel reverberated across the sector and revealed weaknesses in the company's business model. It was a low point for Rolls-Royce and a defining moment for Tufan Erginbilgic, who stepped in as CEO in 2023 and has led the company through a significant transformation. As an analyst covering European aerospace and defense companies, I wanted to hear more about how Tufan approached this massive undertaking. So I sat down with him in the company's London headquarters, where he talked about his ideas on making strategy granular, changing employees' mindset, and much more.
Tufan, great to see you. Thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
I want to go back to the very start. Before you joined Rolls-Royce, you had pretty prominent positions in both the energy sector and in private equity. So what was the attraction to Rolls-Royce? What motivated you to go for the job?
One is what Rolls-Royce meant in terms of it's a global company, well-known, iconic brand, great history. And second thing, frankly, was my assessment outside in was this was actually turnaround candidate.
Why was it that it was more of a transformation over a restructuring?
For me, transformation is very unique. You take a company, let's say from point A to point B. At point B, this company can do stuff that couldn't do at point A because of balance sheet strength or because of capabilities or because of culture. And by doing things that now you can do, your option set goes up. Therefore, suddenly it opens up. If point A, you thought potential is X. Now point B, you are thinking actually potential is X plus something. So it opens up another profitable growth opportunity at point B. And then we came with clear vision. I used external benchmarking and internal work to articulate 4 words as sort of this is the company we are going to create. High-performing, competitive, resilient, and growing company. And Rolls-Royce was none of the above. Then if you look at strategic goals, how did we come up with it? It was actually, because we have the external benchmarking by that time, our internal assessment, we effectively converted those 4 words. If you are going to be competitive, if you are going to be resilient, growing, what kind of financial strategic goals you need to have?
Where many leaders talk about strategy at the highest level, Tufan thinks real transformation requires granularity.
Something that's been very clear is how granular this transformation plan is. What's important about the granularity of the plan?
Unless strategy is granular, you cannot cascade it down. Transformations, how do they happen? If I have to give one sentence answer to you, I would say transformations happen by mobilizing workforce with purpose, focus, and alignment. My 4 pillars, all trying to achieve this one sentence. Purpose, focus, alignment with pace and intensity. First pillar, first of all, establishing a leadership team and an organization which can deliver this strategy. And then engagement and comms, big part of it. This is my third transformation. Normally, previous leadership stopped talking about the reality. You need to reorient, therefore, organization and workforce where the company is. At the same time, you need to talk about the vision and how you believe, with some passion and commitment, how you believe you can actually achieve that vision. And strategy, granular strategy, to your point, has a big role in it. I need to deliver 17 strategic initiatives, and people own it. Because 17 initiatives people own. Now when people own it, now strategy became not only alignment tool, but also engagement tool, but also performance management tool. So therefore, it is very, very important.
Under Tufan, Rolls-Royce renegotiated its civil airline contracts. This was instrumental, not just for the company's bottom line, but the message it sent to employees.
How do you incentivize such a large global organization, and how are you changing that?
Mindset is the most important thing in business, really. And our behaviors, obviously, a part of our mindset. A mindset drives that. So I'll give you one example. So we picked, and it's well known, as you know, renegotiating some tough contracts, whether it is OE or airline, etc. That was untouchable in people's minds. It was in too difficult category. You actually show to the organization, you actually convert that to a positive, suddenly mindset shifts overnight. Okay, I actually heard people saying, okay, if you can do it, I'm gonna do this, right? Because, wow, I thought that cannot be done. It is impossible category. Now, then, if that is not impossible, then this is not impossible. Then I'm gonna do this. You don't change culture overnight, but I've seen in some areas mindset changing almost overnight. Before I come to the new behaviors, the fundamental mindset change here was strategic progress focus. Effectively making the business better every day, rather than chasing bunch of numbers that you may call it as budget. Our new behavior, safety first, do the right thing, keep it simple, make a difference. If you cascade this strategy down, everybody knows their role, and whole organization is aligned because you are actually implementing same strategy, then transformation happens.
Rolls is obviously a very innovative company given the products that you produce, but sometimes that can obviously be at a cost to profitability. How do you balance those two things?
First of all, I should say innovation is very important. We are a technology company. You cannot be a technology company and don't focus on innovation. Why it is not a trade-off? Because you made some choices. Some areas you chose not to participate. Other places you chose to participate even more powerfully. So suddenly, you are actually spending more on innovation in the areas chosen. If you look at our R&D spend or CapEx spend, they all went up. So you apply that to the chosen areas, you have actually more powerful innovation.
Rolls-Royce is developing more fuel-efficient aircraft engines for sustainable aviation and is a leader in small modular reactors, or SMRs.
Decarbonization is obviously a huge topic within aviation, but actually in some of the other businesses that Rolls-Royce is in, how does the group as a whole play into this theme?
We are committed to net zero. By 2030, we are going to reduce Scope 1 and 2 emissions by 46%. These numbers actually include testing. And if you think we are growing the business, therefore we will need more testing, not less, these are pretty compelling numbers. When it comes to Scope 3, I actually believe we are one of the leaders. Let's start with aviation. It's a big part of our business. I mean, reality is next 20 years, aviation will be about fuel efficiency and sustainable aviation fuel. There isn't any other alternative. So what are we doing? Our next engine is even more efficient than the most efficient engine available in the market today. Then we made all of our engines, including business aviation, 100% SAF compatible already. There is no other company who can actually say that. Then if I go to power systems, we are developing methanol engine for marine, ahead of the market development, frankly. And for power gen, we are already doing sustainable fuel, hydrogen. We have battery storage business growing. It's not only supporting power gen, but actually on its own, it will be a profitable business. And not to mention, obviously, SMRs and microreactors. They are actually zero carbon products. And given our nuclear capability, we should be market leader in SMRs and microreactors.
So you mentioned there several of the big projects that Rolls-Royce is working on. Which of those projects are you personally most excited about?
I'm a passionate guy about the business, so I'm excited about lots of things. But do you know what? I'm most excited about transformation, which includes all those programs. Reality is really reinventing Rolls-Royce and creating a world-leading company. And we won't stop until that happens. So that I'm excited about. That is one program that excites me.
You famously held a town hall where you described the business as a burning platform.
Yes.
If you were to hold that same town hall tomorrow,
yes,
how would you describe the business?
We are more competitive company and more resilient company. And in some KPIs, we are actually world leading right now. We are a growing company and we will grow more. And my growth is not only volumetric, but it's revenue growth, but also profit and cash growth. Are we fully high performing? No. For my standard, we have more to do. And we will have more to do on competitiveness because you are not done. You are more competitive, but we can be even more competitive.
Tufan, this has been incredibly insightful. I want to thank you for joining us and for your time.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.